In other news, you'll recall that in my last video, I reacted to a few questions and comments that I'd received by mysterious and actually inexplicable means. The response was so overwhelming that I've decided to do it again. The first couple aren't questions, but just comments. Dear Rambling Idler, stop your interminable rambling and get a job. Signed, Working Joe. Thanks for the feedback, Joe. I'm afraid there's one thing that prevents me from getting a job. I'm unemployable. And why am I unemployable? Because I'm too old. Companies don't want to retain the employees they've got who are over 50, let alone hire new ones, and I'm well over 50. And in case you object that Walmart would take me on as a greeter, maybe so, but there are no Walmarts around here. So I guess I'll just have to ramble on among the ranks of the unemployed. Next comment. Dear Mr. Idler, it's clear to me that you don't have a clue, but I commend you for plugging away anyhow. Signed, My Sympathies. Thanks for rooting for me, Sympathies. While it's true that at the moment I don't have a clue, I hope to have one very soon, and the whole mystery should be solved by Christmas. Stay tuned for developments. Next comment. Dear Mr. Idler, how do you make your videos look so gorgeous? Everything seems so real. Signed, Envious Videographer. Thanks for the question and the compliment, Envious. There's a lot going on here at Rambling Idler Studios, and we don't have the space to put up a set and simply leave it up till next time. So before making each video, we have to do a certain amount of shifting and rearranging, which can be quite time-consuming. You may have heard that YouTube viewers crave authenticity, so my crew spends a couple of hours setting up the lights and carefully crafting the background, taking great pains to eliminate any studio feel and create the illusion that I'm in my living room and have just turned on a floor lamp, put the camera on the table in front of me and started filming. I think they succeed pretty well, and that my videos have the rough amateur look we aim for. Next comment. Dear Rambling Idler, I've decided to dedicate my life to idling, but recently I overheard someone mumbling behind my back that I'd never done a day's work in my life. This has left me unsure whether I'm on the right path. Signed, Shaken and Disturbed. Thanks for the comment, Shaken. It's only natural, especially at the beginning of your career as an idler, to be rattled when you encounter such comments, and you will certainly encounter many more in the same vein. If you're serious about being an idler, you've got to learn to ignore them. In fact, to be a successful idler, you've got to develop something of a thick skin and stop caring what other people think of you. I know this is easier said than done, but be patient. It will come with time. Dear Mr. Idler, as I become more immersed in the idling way of life, I find myself going to bed later and later, and as a result, getting up later and later. I sleep for 7 or 8 hours, which I don't think excessive. Still, I find other people judging me for rising at noon. Signed, An Aspiring Idler. Dear aspiring, unfortunately, people are quick to judge and often consider their own prejudices to be universal truths they believe everyone should adhere to. What's that saying that's so popular nowadays? Doesn't occur to me right off. Something along the lines of my way or the road, which isn't too catchy and doesn't really seem to make sense. At any rate, I gather it implies that there's only one correct way of doing things, and that's their way. I don't know how many times I've heard some early riser who considers himself somehow superior because he's up at the crack of dawn. I don't know how many times I've heard such a person say that the best and most refreshing sleep is the sleep you get before midnight. When I've asked them if that's the case, why, instead of retiring at 10 or 11 at night, they don't go to bed at 4 p.m. and rise at 12 a.m., and get in their full 8 hours before midnight, they're at first confounded and then angry. They never respond to my objection, but continue to maintain that a person who rises at the crack of dawn is virtuous, and one who doesn't leave his bed till late in the morning is a good-for-nothing, no matter if both have slept the same total amount. So, aspiring, I say to you the same thing I said to Shaken and Disturbed. Stop worrying about what other people say or think of you, and just get a good night's or morning's rest, and enjoy being an idler. Well, that's all we have time for. So that's it for now. Oh ho! What have we here?